Hey everybody, Cougar here, about to start a new playthrough of The Forest. A couple of things I wanted to mention before we get started though. For one thing, if you're coming here after watching my Subnautica series, now Subnautica is rated E10, good for everyone 10 and up. This game does not have a rating yet because it is still in early access, but it is gory. There is a lot of blood and guts and dismemberment and beheading and a little touch of nudity here and there. So if you're not into the gore, or you're watching this with your kid and don't want them to be exposed to the gore, this may not be the game for you. With that, let's get started. Airplane food. That looks delicious. Oh, hey, Timmy. That's our son, Timmy. He's having a little nap. Let's see what he was reading. For Timmy. A book on survival. Well, isn't that helpful? Maybe we'll just hold on to that.
Gentlemen, we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Turbulence?
Please return to your seats and keep your seatbelts fastened.
I don't like turbulence.
Flight attendants and cabin crew, please.
Guys, I think we crashed. Hey, where you going with Timmy? Come back with Tip. Alright, so here we are, and we are covered in gore. This poor woman has some kind of airplane utility axe stuck in her abdomen. Let's grab that. That might come in handy. Got some meds there. Let's go to the rear of the plane. Some food for us. Some booze. A passenger manifest. That'll help us check names off as we find members, passengers or members of the crew. Sodas, meds, soda, some more food, even more food. That's it. There's more food, but our stomach is full now, so we don't need that additional food. I think once we leave this plane, there's no coming back. So let's just make one last look around. Yeah, I think we got everything. All right. Now, the first thing you're going to notice about The Forest is it is gorgeous. What a beautiful game this is. But daylight's a-burnin', guys. And we've got stuff to do. Like, check out this luggage. Got some cloth and some batteries from that piece of luggage. Got a stick, cloth, and a snack. We definitely want to get all of the good stuff from the luggage around here, but we don't want to be wasting too much time because it will be dark soon, and we would like to have a little starter base set up before it gets too dark. Oop, there's a creature. Now, you can kill those and eat their meat and use them for crafting, but we're not at that point right now, so let's just let him be. There is forageable edibles here. Some of this stuff is edible, some of it is not, and some of it is bad for you. It's going to be up to us to figure out which is which here. Not finding as much luggage as I would like to find around here. There's usually quite a bit more than this. Let's go in the direction that the plane crashed. Maybe we'll come across some more. We want to be picking up sticks. We can gather sticks from these little saplings here. Sticks and stones we want to be collecting. the plane crashes down. It doesn't always crash down in exactly the same place, so I don't know where we are. Picked up a tennis ball. I don't know that those have any uses other than just throwing. Hey, 2 with 1. That's good. Cloth and money, which we can use to light a fire. More meds and some cloth there. So as I was saying, the plane doesn't always crash down in exactly the same spot, so I don't know where we are. I'm going to try to get us to the place where I like to build my main permanent base. We may not be able to... Oh no, it's going to rain. No, this is not good. We have no shelter. We're going to get cold and wet, and we don't have a fire. Picking up some stones here. Maybe it'll just be a passing shower. Sticks. More sticks. God, more sticks. This looks like it could just be a sun shower. I don't think this rain's going to last very long. If we start getting cold, we're going to have to light a fire. The natives of the island will come and investigate a fire. So I'm not really thrilled at the idea of just building a fire out here in the open with no defenses set up. One thing I wanted to mention, we are playing on normal difficulty. There are harder difficulty modes. And then in addition to the standard difficulty modes that you change in the main menu, you can also type in cheat codes at the main screen. We're full of sticks. It's not letting us pick up anymore. There are also 3 cheat codes that you can type in from the main screen to further customize the difficulty. Ah, okay, I know where we are. See that spit of land down there? That's where we're going to build our main base, eventually. We may not get there today, because I want to make sure that we get all of the luggage from around this crash site. It is filled with stuff that you cannot find elsewhere in the game, like booze. The booze you can use to craft Molotov cocktails, which we will want, and traps that are armed with Molotov cocktails, which we're going to want. I was talking about the difficulty modes. Okay, so there is meat mode, vegetarian mode, and vegan mode. Vegan mode completely removes the natives from the island, so you can just focus on surviving and building. Vegetarian mode, the natives will only come and investigate stuff at night. During the day, I think they sleep. They go down into the caves and sleep during the daytime. Meat mode, you can be harassed by cannibals at any and all points during the day or night. And that is the mode that we are playing on. So we could, in theory, start seeing natives at any point here. So I want to hurry up and get as many of these luggages looted as possible. That's a throwable rock. Don't really know what the use is for those. Get as much of this luggage as possible before the sun starts to set, so that we can get out of here and get someplace a little more secure. More sticks and stones. We're now back at the tail of the plane. There are rabbits. You can trap those rabbits. You can raise rabbits for a sustainable food source. I'm feeling like we probably got most, if not all, the luggage out of here. So let's start heading down the coast toward where we're going to build our main base. Let's just get out to the coast here. Alright. So again, if you like what you're seeing in this game, but you're like, yeah, that's a really robust crafting system, building system they've got there, and I'd like to play around with that, but I don't want to be dealing with all these cannibals interrupting my building all the time. you can use the special cheat codes typed in at the main screen to further customize the difficulty and the type of playthrough that you want to be doing. Now the game is telling us down in the lower left-hand corner to learn the basics of survival, and press 3 to open the survival book. As we take in that sailboat there and the spit of land beyond it with that big beautiful tree on it, let's quickly look at the book that it's telling us to look at. So contents, basics of survival tutorial. Step 1, build a shelter. A shelter will restore your energy. It can be used to hide from predators and also save your game. Bigger shelters can be used for storage. We're probably going to just craft one of these because the game is telling us to for our first night here. Step 2, build a fire. It can be used to keep warm, light up dark nights, or scare off enemies. But be warned, at night, fires may attract unwanted attention. Step 3, foraging. Some of the stuff on the island is edible and good for you. Some of it is not. So we're going to be learning about what's edible and what's not as we progress through the game. You know, as long as we got the book open here and the sun is still up, we'll just quickly basically take you through the tabs. So we've got fires, different types of fire we can build. We'll start with a basic fire, but we can build a fire pit once we get more established. Shelters, we can build temporary shelters. We can build pre-crafted shelters, but we can also build custom shelters on our own. Food and water, rabbit cages, water collectors, a garden to plant stuff, a drying rack for meat, stick holders, a log sled, that's going to be one of the first things we build, a log holder, a rock holder, weapon, more storage, custom building. This is how you can build your own structures. Very, very flexible and customizable. Really amazing building. This survival game, probably has the best building system of any of the survival games that I've played. It's very, very flexible, and you can, you know, build whatever you want. If you want to build a theme park out of logs, it's going to take you a while, but you can do that. For now, we'll keep moving down the beach. Let's actually get down to the water, because, you know, we want to wash ourselves. Oh, the rain washed us off. Remember, we were covered with blood when we first woke up in the plane? If you don't wash yourself off and let that blood stay on you, you can get sick. So if you don't experience a rain shower when you first get into the game, you definitely want to find some water and rinse yourself off so that you don't get sick from the blood. Yeah, so there's a sailboat out there. We could go out to that, swim out to that sailboat and see what's on it. We will do that at some point. I was now planning on doing that today. Since we're going to be building our shelter right over there on the other side of the water there, we can always come back here and check out the sailboat at a later time. But today, now, these are great whites, and they are here on the beach to warn you that there are sharks in that water. In fact, it is infested with sharks. So we are going to, if we decide to swim out to that boat, we're going to have to be very, very careful swimming out there, or we're going to have to build a little craft to do it. The next thing, if I continue through the pages here, in fact, we can build a small raft, we can build a large raft, or we could build a houseboat, or we could build a dock all the way out to the sailboat out there. We'll have to decide what we want to do when we get to that point. There are these turtles here on the beach. Another good reason to be located here. If you're not a complete spaz and can kill these turtles, you can harvest them for edible meat. Again, a little bit gory, apologize. And pick up their tortoise shells for crafting. Now we've got plenty of meat for our first night. I'm not going to kill any more of these right now. In fact, as the sun starts to go down, let's just check out the last few luggages here. 2 cloth and meds. You can carry a lot of this small stuff, so there's no reason not to go ahead and bust these open as soon as you find them. More cloth and meds in that one. A snack and cloth here. Here's a grave site with a cassette tape and a photo. That photo says June 1982 down at the bottom. And a note was added to the notes section of our book. You can check that out on your own. For now, let's continue, try to get all of these luggages busted open before the sun sets. So far, we haven't seen any cannibals, which is fine by me, because they're really scary and nasty. But yeah, because we're on meat mode, they could be showing up at any time. Cash and cloth. Cloth you can use to make rope or upgrades to your equipment. Let me show you, let me just briefly describe why I like to build over here. For one thing, you don't want to be building in the midst of other trees. You don't want to be building right in the middle of the forest, because cannibals can and will climb these trees and then jump over your walls to get into your base. So I like to find a nice open space with no trees on it on which to build, which doesn't that look like the perfect candidate right there? Now there are trees here that are going to give us access to the logs we are going to need to build. But there's also this nice open perimeter here that will keep natives from jumping down into the base, from climbing the trees and jumping down into the base. Another reason I like to build here, well, it goes without saying that you're protected on 3 sides up on that isthmus there. You got water on 3 sides of you, so you only really need to barricade off one stretch of land there. Another reason I like being over here is because there are these 2 little ponds here. There's one here, and there's one off in the distance over there. And you can drink the water from here. It's not very good for you. There are healthier sources of water than these ponds, but in a pinch, you can drink that water. The other reason is, if we go over to this pond, you see there's something sticking out of the ground there? That is a weak spear. So now we have a spear, and we can use it to spearfish fish here in these ponds. And these fish will replenish themselves every day, so you have a never-ending supply of food in these 2 little ponds here. And the drinkable water. Not great drinkable water, but drinkable. This weak spear that we found over there, you can craft one of these. It takes 2 seconds to craft. It's really easy to craft, but since we found one there, we're going to use this one. Alright, now the sun's going down. Oh, it's going to rain again. Yes, you can kill those rabbits. They are tough to catch on foot, but we can build a bow and arrow. We can craft a bow and arrow later to help us get those. We can also trap rabbits. We can build traps for them. And we can build a little rabbit hutch on our base so that we can, you know, make them a source of food as well. Alright, but for now, let's just start building. Let's build a temporary shelter here that we can use just to save our game and sleep through the night if we want to. So let's bring up our little crafting book here, go to the shelter tab, select the hunting shelter, and just drop it here on a nice, fairly level piece of ground. And it gives you this outline, and it tells you what you need to stock it with in order to craft it. So I've already picked up some sticks and stones. We're going to have to cut some logs. Oh, cut some logs to finish that crafting. Never, ever, ever cut a log from downslope in real life. In this game, it doesn't really matter. It's always going to fall away from you. Don't hit our shelter! That almost landed right on our shelter. Oh, it did land on our shelter. Good thing we hadn't built it yet. That could have wrecked it. It's not letting me. There we go. Okay. We'll need to cut one more tree to get this built. And then we'll want to put a fire down The game warns you that fire can attract unwanted attention. That's something that we're going to have to be mindful of here. Picking up more sticks and stones. Oh, blueberry bush. It's getting dark. You can't see it very well, but these are edible blueberries. Let's go ahead and eat some of those for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to replenish our hunger, but it's also going to give us blueberry seeds that we can use once we craft make a little farm on our base. A little plot of land for farming. Okay, one more tree chopping. Automatically collecting tree sap as we chop at this tree. Tree sap is used in crafting. You can use it to upgrade your tools and weapons, among other things. Ooh, a rainbow! Wow, I've never seen a rainbow in this game before. But again, I haven't played in over a year, and didn't play that much of it the first time I played. When I first picked it up, it was still really, really early access. It has come a long way since then. In fact, I believe it's almost ready to be released. Alright, we've got a little shelter down. First thing we're going to do is save our game. And then later on, we can use it to skip through the night. I don't need this log anymore. Get rid of that. But we do need a fire. So let's go to the fires tab. We're going to build a basic fire. We can build a fire pit later once we get more established. But for tonight, let's just build a basic tab here. A basic fire. We will need 2 sticks and 7 leaves. And we have a lighter on us that is an inexhaustible supply of fuel in it, so you can use this lighter as much as you need. And now we will bring up our inventory. So this is the inventory screen. On normal difficulty, the game is paused while you're in the inventory screen, right? So we can stay in here as long as we want. This is the crafting mat in the center of the screen. This is where you can combine stuff. Let's see, we start with our weak spear, add some cloth to it, add some tree sap to it or some teeth to it, and we can make a better spear. We're not going to do that right now. We just need to pick up this raw meat and put it on the fire. Put 2 pieces of meat on there. That should be more than enough to fill our bellies. In fact, it's probably too much, but we'll see. And then just let it cook for a little while. Eventually, the indicator over the fire will change to a little Pac-Man, indicating that you can eat it. We can kill these birds, too, if they're stupid enough to land right next to us. Oh, and we're not complete spazzes. To-do list updated. Let's check out what our updated to-do list says. We've got to go back to the main page. Where's our to-do list? There it is. Find Timmy. Find and cook food. Alright, that's what it did. It scratched off the find and cook food. And because we have the manifest, find the missing plane passengers was added to our to-do list. So now we got little Pac-Man indicators there. We'll go ahead and eat some of this cooked meat. That filled our belly up completely. Now the meat that's on there still will eventually burn. You can still eat it after it has burnt, but it will give you less. It will be less filling. You cannot pick it up and carry it with you as cooked meat, so we're just going to have to let it sit there and burn. So no natives yet, guys. We have not encountered any hostiles, which is fine by me. And now that the moon is rising, it is actually going to be bright enough for us to do some stuff tonight. Since we have our energy is full, our tummy is full, we can just start doing some basic gathering here. The natives on this island are tree worshippers. So for every tree you cut down, they are going to be more and more displeased with us. But we need the trees. So we are going to risk their... Ah! She's still alive. Not anymore, she's not. Alright, well, that was our first encounter with the natives here. But this would be a good opportunity for me to explain that there are two different species of these cannibals here on the island, or the natives on the island. One is these wild things that run around on all fours. They're very fast, very agile, and extremely aggressive. They will come at you all the time. Every time they see you, they will be coming at you. There's another group, however, who stand up straight, walk on two legs, and have ornamentation on them. They will be wearing headdresses or something. And those guys are not necessarily aggressive. And if you encounter any of those, your best bet is to just stand your ground. If you just stand there and look at them, they will respect that. If you don't move toward them aggressively and don't back away from them in a scared kind of way, just stand there and face them down. They will respect that, and they will leave you alone eventually. And if you can figure out a way to do that enough, they will eventually come to not befriend you, but at least completely leave you alone. I'm going to warn you here that we're about to experience something extremely gory, okay? We are going to chop this body up into pieces. We're going to chop its head off, we're going to chop all its limbs off, and we're going to later use the head and the limbs to craft something. So look away or skip this part if you don't want to see this. It's horrible. Decapitated. Let me grab that head before it rolls too far away. Alright. We've chopped off one of her arms. We've chopped off another arm and a leg. Let's just get her last leg. Okay. So we've got 2 legs, 2 arms, and we want to get rid of this. Let's just move it away from our camp a little bit. We can take it farther away eventually. But we can use those body parts to craft what are called effigies. And effigies will discourage... I'll bring up the book, find the effigies. Not sure where they are. Are they under the traps? Ah, okay. Effigies will discourage the natives from approaching you. Here's a custom effigy that you can build with whatever pieces you want. A small effigy that's going to take a set number of pieces. An arm effigy, set number of pieces, mostly arms. A large effigy, which has all sorts of different body parts on it. And you build those effigies around your base, and it will discourage attacks by the cannibals. I'm going to go ahead and eat that last piece of meat, even though it's burnt. See, we got a little bit of food off that, but not much. Alright, well, we've encountered a cannibal, and we were able to beat her off and dismember her. So let's call that a day. I'm going to skip the rest of this night. Okay. Amazingly, our fire still burning the next day. Go figure. Beautiful sunrise there. Let me take you up to the top of the hill here and try to lay out what we're going to be doing. So the plan here is to basically build a wall from one side of this little point of land over to the other side with a gate in the middle. Yes, that's going to take a lot of logs, but it'll go quickly, you'll see. And then, behind the wall, we'll have this whole area up here on which to build our base. Now, as we get up to the top here, you'll see that this tree is a sacred tree for the natives. And they have built some effigies here facing the tree, just because this is this is going to be gruesome, guys. So just to, as a form of worship, they have built these effigies here as a form of worship. I am going to destroy these effigies because they're horrible, and I don't want them anywhere near my base. But the natives will come back and rebuild these if we let them, which we're going to try not to do by building a wall. There was something good there. Oh, a skull. And some cloth. Okay. So this is a sacred tree for the natives. They come here and worship this tree most of all. Well, not most of all. I mean, there are other trees that they worship like this. And they will not be happy with us blocking their access to it once we start building. But that's just the way it's going to be. So what I'll probably do is build my home way up here at the top. But if we build our wall up here, it's just going to take so long to drag the logs up and down this hill that I would rather have the wall down closer to the forest to speed construction, and then have that whole rest of the open area up there, unlimited space, really, for us to build the main base. Okay, so let's start building. We're going to start our wall. We're going to run it right across here, I think. This looks like a good spot for it. Before we start with the wall, we need a doorway. So we're going to go to Custom Building, page 5, find a wall with a door, set our door down first. We want to get it lined up so that it is perpendicular to the coastline. That looks pretty good. That'll do. Place that down. Now if you look in the lower left hand corner, it tells you what we will need to craft this. We need 5 logs to craft that. Now we will go to, go into our crafting book, go to the traps, small traps, go to page 3 and build defensive walls off of this door. Start there and drag it all the way over to the cliff. And these natives are wily and nimble, so you want to make sure that you're not leaving any gaps for them to get through. That should work. Now we are up to 66 logs we need to build this. And we are not done yet. I know that seems like a lot of logs. It'll go fairly quickly, you'll see. But just to mention again, I am not setting myself up as some kind of expert on this game. So maybe this is a really stupid way to do this, but it's the way that I'm going to do it. If there's a better way to do it, then let me know in the comments. Boy, that was really stupid to build there. You could have built somewhere else and it would have been a lot easier. We are getting really thirsty and a little bit hungry. I think we're going to head over to the pond here and get a fish to eat. Or 2. Really only need 1. Since we have no way of preserving these yet, we have to build a drying rack in order to preserve these fish. We can really only eat what we pick up. And we're going to need some water. Now, this is going to get rid of our thirst, but he's not going to like it. So that filled up about half our thirst, but he didn't like it. But at least it got rid of the thirst. Alright, we need a bunch of sticks. Before we even start moving logs around, the first thing we want to build is a log sled. So let's do that right away. I think that's in storage. Yeah, log sled. We need 21 sticks to make this happen. That's a lot of sticks. Doesn't matter where you put it. I'm just trying to put it somewhere where it's going to be easy to find and get with a lot of sticks around. You can carry 10 sticks at a time. Oops, I didn't mean to pick those up. I thought there were more sticks around here. There. You can chop these little bushes for 1 stick or the saplings for 2 sticks. This is a sapling that'll give us 2 sticks. And I hit a bush as well, so we got 3 sticks out of that. Stones, we got plenty of stones. Oh, that's her corpse. Alright, lots of sticks. Let's go drop these off. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Built that pretty quickly. Now you load your logs into the log sled. And you can move up to 12 logs at once. I think what I'm going to do here is just get this started with 1 load of logs. And then we will call that an episode. And I will not bore you with the many trips it is going to take to get that wall completely finished. So as soon as we get 1 load of logs down here, we'll wrap things up. These trees will regrow. That is a setting that you can change in the options for the game. If you want chopped trees to stay chopped, say you want to build a cleared area, like a defensive perimeter with no trees around it, and you don't want to have to worry about going out every day. Oh, please don't hit our log sled. And you don't want to worry about going out every day and re-clearing the area to keep it clear. You can turn off regrowing trees in the options. Alright, that is 12 logs. Grab the log sled. Yeah, so it's probably going to be like 10... more than 10 trips with the log sled to get this defensive wall completely constructed. And I don't want to bore you with that, because not even counting the log sled trips, that's a lot of tree chopping to watch. So let me just get these down. So you can see how it works. Let's get the door built. Alright, now we've got a door and a bit of wall. Okay, so that'll do it for today. I will go ahead and get the rest of this wall built, and then we'll pick it up once the wall is built. We can continue our construction from there. So thanks for watching, everybody. Leave a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the forest. There will be more forest coming very soon. For now, stay out of the forest.